welcome to Magic Kingdom. In this video, I'm going to share a bunch of hints and tips to make sure your next trip to the Magic Kingdom is maximised. Some of these may seem obvious, but there'll be some in here that you've never heard before. So the first one, probably the most obvious, if you are staying on site or you are an annual pass holder, you will have access to early access to the park. Take advantage of that because there's no lightning lanes. Theoretically it's a lot quieter, so you can get on a couple of rides. I'd suggest Peter Pan and Seven Dwarfs, because those two, once they've got a queue, good luck. Also, if you are staying on site, you may be eligible to stay a little late on select evenings. You'll need your magic band or pass to get on rides. But yeah, if you're staying on site, you get more time than everybody else, so make the most of it. Second thing is, this is the largest of the four parks. Four, I can't count, ignore my phone. Largest of the four parks. This has 55 rides, attractions, shows, meet and greets. So if you're planning on doing everything, and you may not be, like I'm not interested in the meet and greets, but if you are planning on doing everything, especially if you're here when it's a little bit busier, strongly recommend 2 days. Or, one of their tips later, you might want to skip some of the lines, but plan a couple of days if you want to do everything in this park. Okay, so the next thing you may want to consider if you're here and it is busy is Genie Plus. Now, this is Disney's version of a Fast Pass. It is probably the most complicated system out there of any theme park. So if you are going to get it, you need to study. I'm not going to go into details too much here. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that will do a very good job of explaining it to you. But long story short, you can buy it from midnight on the day. You then have to select times to return to various rides, which is kind of annoying, so there's a bit of a gamble. You can't have more than, well, every time you book a ride, you can only book the next one either after 2 hours or when you scan on it, or if you've missed that ride. So, you know, if you book one in 8 hours time, you can't use it again for 2 hours. So, you know, it's complicated. That said, it can be very useful if you know how to use it. Now, Disney say you're going to get maybe about 3 shots on the lightning lane. If you're only getting 3, you've not studied and you don't know how to use it. We managed to get about 10 or 11 shots on things last time we used it. So if you are going to get it, if you are in a big group, make sure you study and consider a lightning lane. We're using it today. Another one is the Disney Parade. It's on every day around about 3 o'clock, and you will see everybody on Main Street queuing up to see it. I get super busy and you will struggle to get a good view. It starts in Frontierland and works its way towards Main Street. So if you want to get a quieter spot, get yourself Frontierland. Then you'll see the parade just as well as everybody else, and you won't have as big crowds. If you stay here till the end of the day, past the fireworks, everybody, and I mean everybody, scrambles to get out of the park. But the shops, etc., they stay open. So avoid the mad panic to go and get all the transportation. Just chill out. Go do some shopping, take in some sights, get some nice photos. I mentioned earlier how to get a good spot for the parade. The alternative, if like me you're not particularly fussed about the parade, is that whilst everybody's watching the parade, you go on all the rides, because the queue times calm down a little bit at 3 when everybody's busy on Main Street watching the parade go by. Okie dokie, so if you are one of those lucky guests that is staying on site and you get early access and you're here for rope drop, what should you do? Well, there's 2 rides you probably want to prioritise. The first one is Seven Dwarfs, because that bad boy sits at 90 minutes all day, or like I've done, you pay $11 to get on it. So that's one option. The second option is Peter Pan. Again, a ride that very quickly ramps up the queue and it sits there all day long. So if you are here for rope drop, pick one of those, whichever one is your highest priority, leg it. Good luck. Little addendum, as soon as I stopped the camera, my partner pointed out something I forgot to mention. Yes, I paid for Seven Dwarfs, $11, but beware, if you are paying for it, you'll get told when you're coming back. In my case, it's 9 o'clock and it's now 1:30. So I'm here for a long time. It's not like you can just rock up to the front of the queue and go, I'll pay $10, $11 and walk on. That's not how it works. As I said, if you're going to do Genie Plus, lightning lanes, I strongly recommend that you go do some studying. I could explain it, but there are so many channels that do a better job. So DFB Guide.
Somebody that's never used it, it's worthwhile using.
There you go, there's my partner saying she's been a few times, she's never used Genie Plus. And I know how it works, so I'm doing it, and she's enjoying the benefits of skipping some queues. So do your research. I've come into the shops because, you know, it's Florida, it's hot, and there's AC. good shout. So if you are one of those people that's staying on site, a tactic, because of the heat, could very well be go to the park for early park hours, get in some rides when it's quiet, head back to your hotel, kind of lunchtime-ish for a couple hours, avoid Florida heat, and then come back in the evening. If you get the photo pass, the memory maker thing, there are these kind of magic zooms in all of the parks, and the one for Magic Kingdom, so I have the castle behind me, and sort of over here, there's a couple getting their photo taken right now. You go over there, they get you a look at the top of the building, and then you get this. A little tip for you if you are using Genie. You may have exactly what I've just had. So we did have Genie booked for the Barnstormer, and then I get a message to say we've made a change to your Lightning Lane. Long story short, the ride has broken down and therefore they have freed up my Lightning Lane. What that means is you get a Lightning Lane select experience. In a nutshell, you get to walk up to any ride, excluding Seven Dwarfs and Tron if you're in Magic Kingdom. Go up to any Lightning Lane, scan, job done. So keep an eye on the app. If you ever see a select Lightning Lane because yours has been cancelled, gives you free reign to go and do anything else. Another little addendum, you can't do Jungle Cruise and you can't do Peter Pan either. So 4 rides, that's 3 fingers Chris, 4 rides you cannot do if you get a select Lightning Lane. You can't do Tron, you can't do Seven Dwarfs, you can't do Peter Pan, and you can't do Jungle Cruise. Magic Kingdom has a ridiculous number of food outlets, and if you are wanting to go any of the sit-down experiences, a proper restaurant, not just quick serve, get yourself a hot dog and a burger, you need to book, because you can't just walk up. So have a look in advance, and you need to book well in advance. So as soon as you possibly can, and you'll get told, so you know, if you're too early, it'll say come back in 30 days, whatever it is. But well before you get here, plan, take a look at the menu, and put those reservations in. You'll need them. Another thing is queue times. So the parks over here, when the parks close, that is just the queues that close. So you can, let's say tonight for example, park closes at 10, you can sneak in the queue at 9:59, and even if it takes an hour to get through that queue, you will be fine. So maximise your day. If you are staying till the end, sneak in a queue at the very last second. You'll get a few extra rides. This one's maybe not so much a tip, it's more just kind of a heads up. At the time of recording at least, Tron Light Cycle Run is virtual queue only, so there is no standby line. You can pay for Lightning Lane, but if you are want to do the virtual queue, there are 2 queues. There's 7 AM, but only if you're staying in a resort, and you need to be there at like 6:59, get your party ready, and then go book that. If you are not a resort guest, like I am not, then your only opportunity is at 1 o'clock. Same again, get an alarm set, 5 to 1, get the app loaded up, get your party ready, keep it refresh, and then as soon as it turns 1 o'clock, boom, snag your spot. On occasions, they will have one at 6 PM if it's a late evening, but I believe that one is also resort guests only. So just in case anybody's like super keen to get on Tron, just make sure you get in the virtual queue or you're going to be very disappointed. You can pay, we did both. We paid whilst we were standing in the virtual queue and went back to back. But that is $20-ish per person, so if you've got a family of 5, you're not going to want to do that. So just be careful. End of the night, if you're leaving and you want to go and get the monorail, there's 2 choices. You've got the monorail that goes straight to the ticket centre, and you've got another one that goes to the resorts. And you might think, well, I'm not staying in a hotel, why would I get the resort one? The resort one will go to one resort and then the ticket centre. So potentially, if there's a huge queue for the normal one, it might actually be quicker going to the resort one. So yeah, just consider both. So stand by that tip. Get the resort monorail because the second stop is also the ticket centre. That queue going straight to the ticket centre is massive. This queue to the resort is tiny. Guess which one I'm going in. A few tips for parking. If you are bringing a car here, which, you know, loads of people do, it's expensive. It's the cheapest is $30. $30 for the day. So just be make sure you budget that if you are bringing a car with you. The app does have a car locator because, you know, car park is massive. It is America. They like a car. So you probably want to use the app to remember where you are. If you can't remember where you are, you can ask a member of the cast That's what they call them, cast members. And you might think, how on earth are they going to know where my car is? Because if you know roughly when you got here, they know what lane they were filling at that time. So they can get a ballpark, you're between these 3 lines or whatever it is. So, yeah, bring the car, bring some money too. Good luck. I hope you found those tips useful. If you've got any others that I haven't shared, put them in the comments below for everybody else. Hit that like button. I'm trying to hit 10k, so smash the subscribe button for me as well. I have been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad. See you in the next part.